For my regular YouTube audience, you know what you need to do next to get to the information that you want from this video. But for those who are new to my channel, here are some key points to help you work best with the information in this video. Number 1. Timestamps and other important information can be found in the description to this video. Number 2. The dates of the energies that are unfolding in the week ahead are in the introduction section of this video. Number 3. The degrees of current planet placements and their location in signs are also in the introduction section of this video. Number 4. I'm a personal astrologer giving a general astrology reading in this video. For some people it will resonate. For others, it will not this week due to the influence of planets in your own personal horoscope. It may vary from week to week how much my forecast will resonate with you. If you would like a reading with me to explore your own chart further, the link is also in the description for this video. Number 5. I am using the traditional system of whole sign astrology for my analysis in this video. Number 6. By listening to the introduction, it's going to help you know what's in store for you this week. And then you can go to your sun, moon, and rising signs for more information on what to expect specifically. Number 7. I use both Vedic and Western astrology techniques with what is known as the tropical astrology chart, or, for those who aren't aware, the Western astrology chart. Please explore the placement of your Western or tropical astrology sun, moon, and rising signs using the timestamps for this video. Number 8. Haters and hateful comments will be removed from this video. This is a safe space for everyone who visits here, and like a good bouncer at a nightclub would do, I will eject any haters from this platform. And now here's a final couple of tidbits of information for you about how to use this video. Astrology is not designed to scare you. It's designed to give you information so that you know what the good and the challenging energies in the week ahead will be, and you can therefore consciously work with them to the best of your advantage. Remember, knowledge is power. Now there are scammers about, and so if you should receive a message from me on any platform requesting your money for a reading, know that it is a scam, report them immediately. And now settle in and let's see what the astral skies have in store for the week ahead. Hello my friends, you're about to watch a fascinating video all about Pluto through each sign now that he is moving this week into the sign of Aquarius on the 20th of November in Australia, maybe earlier in other parts of the world. But this is a very exciting time. I'm sharing this video with you. It's actually been a video that has been on my channel before that I did a little while ago on the first time that Pluto went into Aquarius. He's been into Aquarius and then back into Capricorn, into Aquarius, back into Capricorn, and this one is his final trip into Aquarius. No more in Capricorn, that's done and dusted. I do have a video all about his last hurrah in Capricorn available on the Patreon page to sum up everything that he's been doing for us in that sign since 2008. But this video is a repeat, as I said, of a video I've shared before all about Pluto in Aquarius and what it's going to do for you personally. Now, the fact that it is a video that's been up before, some things mentioned are a little bit out of date, but the Pluto into Aquarius theme and expression is an actuality from the 20th of November here this month. So do enjoy this video. I do mention that my teaching series at the Royal Stars Academy, the introductory and intermediate levels are on sale. I mentioned that in this video, and because I am a generous person, I've decided to make those videos or those levels of my astrology course, my certified astrology course, available for you at the discounted price that I mentioned. So that is accurate, and I look forward to seeing you all at the Royal Stars Academy this year in order to get a certified astrology degree. Can't wait to join you there. But for now, enjoy Pluto in Aquarius and everything that it's going to mean for you for the next 20 years. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. This is a biggie, probably the biggest Astro Weather Report I am likely to ever do. And I want to empower you this week and for the next 20 years through the tool of astrology. Now, but what I'm going to be talking about here is going to be impactful. You will feel it. Go through these things at various stages over the next 20 years. So it's a very long range forecast that I'm giving you this week. Can you feel the energy intensifying as we approach what I'm going to be talking about, the shift of Pluto into Aquarius down here? I can. I've already begun, we've all already begun to see banking collapses for a start. Not that Pluto always brings disaster wherever he goes. He does not. That's not his purpose. That's not his intent. And we don't want to always look at things through a negative lens. However, Pluto changing signs is always a hallmark of financial instability in financial astrology. So whenever Pluto changes signs, get ready for a roller coaster ride with the markets and finance. So we know that that's on the cards. We're already seeing it happen. What more is to come? Well, we're going to find out what's in store for you personally in this Astro Weather Report over the coming 20 years. I have done many videos on Pluto in Aquarius with Astrolada here on this channel, on my Patreon page. There's plenty of stuff out there, so I'm not going to repeat the general collective influence of Pluto in Aquarius. There's plenty of stuff out there about that, but this is more about how it's going to affect you personally based on the house that we'll be transiting. Now, if you would like to go more in depth with Pluto transiting whatever house it's transiting in your chart, then do be sure to check out my Pluto Through the Houses playlist on my YouTube channel. Just go to the YouTube homepage. It's listed on the front there. The Pluto Through the Houses playlist, and you find whatever house it's transiting in for you. You're going to learn so much about the energy of this particular transit and what you're in for over the next 20 years. So we're going to touch on that here in this video as well. Now, before we get into that, for everybody who has been waiting for it, the intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy has been launched. Are you on the cusp of a cosmic career shift? Are you interested in understanding yourself better through knowing this amazing tool that we've been given from the gods, the language of the heavens? Your career, your general studies in astrology, they await you at the Royal Stars Academy. I want to tell you just briefly about the Royal Stars Academy for those who aren't aware. It is an astrology course that I offer through the Thinkific platform, but it is a professional astrology course designed to take you from complete novice to professional certified holistic astrologer. So you can do that, or if you wish to simply learn astrology for your own enjoyment and at your own pace, there's no you can join at any time, any stage throughout the year. You can do it at your own pace. The Royal Stars Academy is perfect for you too, if that's what you want to do. This intermediate level that I am releasing at the moment has over 100 hours, it's taken me all year to do it, of astrological teaching, extensive workbooks, and we will be having workshops together online in Zoom calls. And the completion of this level goes towards your certification in as a holistic astrology practitioner with the Institute of Complementary Therapies, the International Institute of Complementary Therapies, IICT. And of course, this will also qualify you for branding under the Guiding Star Astrology logo if you wish to use that, or just join for your own, edification, to delight in the wisdom of the ages if you want to. Intermediate astrology will be this 100-hour course. It's 100 hours plus, actually. It's enormous. It's really enormous. I'm exhausted. But it will take you into a deep dive looking at the astronomy of astrology, the predictive techniques that are used by the world's best astrologers, the deeper principles of astrology. You will be utterly amazed at some of these little-known assessment tools, and exploration of profound ancient astrological mysteries, just to name a few things that we touch on. There's also a special free bonus course by David Warner Matheson that's included in this course for any new sign-ups to the Royal Stars Academy. So you don't want to miss this. It's just full of information, goodies for those who love astrology. You can check out the course content specifically at the Royal Stars Academy site. Just go to the site and look up the syllabus. It's the links in the description below. And as a special treat, until the 8th of April, the intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy is available for $100 off the standard price. So join me in celebrating this exciting event and let's explore the cosmos together. This is a one-time, at the launch of this course, a one-time only discount. I'm not going to offer this as a discount on an ongoing regular basis. So if you really want to do this, jump in now and make the most of this $100 off offer. Okay, it's time, everybody. I know you're itching for it. Let's do the all signs breakdown. And guess what? We're going to start with Aquarius. Where are we? Oh, here we are. Okay, so this little arrow, in case you're new to my channel, that little arrow represents the rising sign, or you can cast a chart with your sun or your moon if they're in Aquarius, and this will apply to you as well. So either your sun in Aquarius, your moon in Aquarius, or Aquarius as your rising sign. You can listen to what I've got to say to you. It will be applicable. Before we jump in, my friends, don't forget the intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy is now on sale for $100 off the standard price. If you are wanting to get certified in astrology or just study for your own joy, come and celebrate this exciting event with me. Up until the 8th of April, it's $100 off. Links in the description below. Let's explore the cosmos together, my friends. Okay, Aquarius, Pluto here for 20 years. Well, this is going to bring you a number of key changes that on a very personal level, because Pluto is going to spend 20 years in the first house of you. So this brings into your life an uplift or a rebirth of vital energy and of willpower. You really are called to start asserting yourself over the next 20 years. Now, it's not going to just all come flooding in like a big wave as soon as Pluto moves in here and you're like overwhelmed with all this change in energy. No, it's going to come in. You might feel it strongly in the beginning, but there are going to be circumstances over the next 20 years where it is felt keenly and you can see the shift and the change. And certainly by the end of the 20-year period, you'll look back at your life and go, oh my word, I'm not who I was before this happened. I am completely different thanks to Pluto's transit through this area. And part of that change is going to bring a rebirth of vital energy into your life and more willpower. You're probably feeling quite weary of holding your power in, of holding yourself back, and holding back your influence. Now's the time to let it rip, my friends. Now's the time to put yourself out there. Now's the time to assert yourself and make yourself known now that Pluto has moved or will move into your first house. You might notice over the next 20 years that your vibration increases dramatically. And by that I mean you'll be sort of operating on a higher level of consciousness because your soul is moving faster. So vibration, it kind of ties into string theory and a number of other scientific theories where our cells, vibrate at a certain level, and Pluto in the house of the body is going to increase that vibration, which lifts you. It lifts you as a person, aurically, and in the experiences that you have in your state of joy, even your state of well-being can lift because of an increased vibration as well. You will also become more magnetic and sexy to others. Pluto is a tremendously sexual planet. In the first house of you, you're going to become sexy. You're going to become magnetic. People will be pulled to you. However, Pluto is a very polarizing planet as well. So people will either be magnetically drawn to you or they're going to be turned off. I believe Madonna has Pluto in the first house, I use this as an example all the time because I find her repulsive and always have. I can't explain why. I can't give you a pinpointed reason. I don't like her. And that's Pluto's effect in the first house. It is polarizing. We are drawn to some people who've got Pluto in the first house, and yet there are others that we are like, no way, yuck. So Pluto in the first house. It will draw people to you or it will polarize people from you. Pluto is a planet of potential. So, you've got a lot of opportunity to live up to your potential now. Fail to act, and this once in a lifetime opportunity that Pluto's giving you to evolve, to create, to assert yourself. If you don't act and make the most of that, that opportunity is gone forever. This is the most stellar time of your life to accomplish your dreams. Trust your gut. You know what you need to do. You know what action you need to take. Listen to yourself, trust it, and take action. Don't wait. Be action oriented now that Pluto's in your first house, my Aquarian friends. Now, other people, because this is now Pluto is opposing the house of others, other people will be giving you lots of unsolicited advice for how to improve your life, how to be a better person. It's up to you whether you take it or not. It might just be water off a duck's back, but you might notice there's an increase in sort of people trying to poke their fingers in your pie. You might feel more sensitive. You might feel more vulnerable, just generally speaking, more reactive to those interfering people or to circumstances or, directions that your life takes. You just might be less stoic and more reactive is what might happen with Pluto here. What also happens is Pluto in the first house can bring a death and rebirth of your personality or your ego. So that's why I say who you are at the beginning of this transit now is going to be a completely different person by the end of this transit. Your life is going to be transformed. You are going to be transformed because of Pluto's transit here. It's an enormous personal growth period, this phase, this cycle. There can also be, because of Pluto's opposition to the house of relationships, there can be some upheaval and transformation in personal relationships. Whatever you don't need in a relationship, if you've got relationships that are just not serving you anymore, they will possibly end because of this transit, okay? Because you're moving into your empowerment, your independence now, and things that do not serve you and your personal growth. See you later. Done and dusted. They're over. Aquarius, there might be some power struggles that you experience with others because Pluto represents that. You need to be very careful of overdoing it. Your assertion and utterly dominating others. So own your power, but be conscious of being too dominating and manipulating and controlling. And finally, this is the area of the chart that has to do with your own individuality, and Pluto intensifies things wherever he goes. So your own individualness, your uniqueness is going to now be intensified and strengthened because of Pluto in the first house. Good times, Aquarius, good times. Alrighty, moving along to Pisces. I love Pisces. Pisces people, we lucky Pisces rising, Pisces sun, Pisces moon. You can use either. In fact, you should check out all three. We have Pluto moving into our 12th house. Great place for Pluto to be, thank God. But before we get into that, let me just remind you, until the 8th of April, the intermediate level of my Royal Stars Academy course is available for $100 off the standard price. So join me to celebrate this exciting event, the launch of my next level of the course, and let's explore the cosmos together, friends. All right. For Pisces, rising sun or moon people, Pluto in the 12th house means it is going to be a 20-year period of inner growth. It is a time to really reconnect with source. And do you know what's beautiful? This comes naturally to Pisces anyway. This is a Pisces theme. The ability to go beyond the earthly dimension and to tap into who you are beyond the 3D realm. You might not understand what the hell's going on when you tap into those things and, you're sort of a bit psychic or a bit tuned in or whatever, but that's what's happening. And Pluto is going to intensify those experiences and uplift those experiences. They're going to happen more often. So a very powerful time. It's a time when we can destroy old fears, old paranoias, old phobias, and old neurosis. Pluto is going to do the work to purge those things out of our psyche. And so if you've got hang-ups about relationships, if you've got hang-ups about, constantly self-sabotaging yourself and that sort of thing, Pluto is going to just wipe those away and give you a clean sheet of paper, fresh start. A lot of people, and again, this comes naturally to many Pisces strong people anyway, many people are going to relinquish attachment to worldly things when Pluto moves through this area. Maybe relinquish attachment to material possessions. It doesn't mean you're going to be like, oh, just take my house, take my car, I'm going to go live in a tent. It's not saying that, but it means the investment that you emotionally and mentally and physically have put into those things isn't going to mean so much anymore. You are going to feel a deep pull towards cultivating contentment and serenity. I think it's in the Bible. Yeah, it is in the Bible. The Apostle Paul wrote, I have learnt the secret of contentment in all circumstances. And that's very much Pluto moving through the 12th house for our Pisces friends in the next 20 years. You're going to learn to be content no matter what happens. And you know what? Often when that occurs, things flow to you naturally. The blessing of the universe just tends to flow to you because there's no resistance. And there's no demanding. There's no lamenting, oh, I haven't got this, or I missed out on that, and boo-hoo, woe is me, I'm a victim. You let all that go and you're just like, I'm happy with what is. I'm content with what is. And the universe goes, righto, here you are, blessing. Pluto enables us to do that powerfully now. It's also a powerful time of rest. Hallelujah. I can hear the angels singing. The universe is going to support us to that end in having some time out over the next 20 years. Plenty of time to take it cruisy. There'll be busy times too, don't get me wrong. But this is the realm of the chart that has to do with holidays, going to resorts and retreats, traveling overseas even, and just having a break. And after putting together my Royal Stars Academy second level, which is over 100 hours long, I am so ready. Bring it, Pluto. Yo. Dreams. Our dream life is seen through the 12th house. Our dreams become powerful. Our dreams become prophetic. So invest in a dream book, dream journal, my friends, before this transit begins, and notice what you get told in the next 20 years. You might become a prophet or a prophetess of sorts through your dreams. Lots of mystical experiences become available to our Pisces friends here. Your psychic skills can be deeply enhanced because of this transit. And it is definitely for Pisces friends a time for a big rise in their consciousness level. So you will be, like I said, tapping into other dimensions, and absorbing all that information in other dimensions and other realities and that sort of thing that you can use to bless your life here. Whether you are consciously aware that that's what's happening or not is another matter, but you'll be getting these like aha light bulb moments, very Aquarian downloads of information. Where did that come from? Suddenly cha-ching, it all makes sense. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. No more boundaries. Oh, go Pisces. You're boundaryless anyway. But Pluto in the 12th house means like Pluto is to dissolve. He composts things and gets rid of things so that they can be transformed. And here in the 12th house of no boundaries, I should say, or dissolution, Pisces, there's nothing that can stop you. There are no boundaries, no restrictions. Pluto is dissolving whatever boundaries you've got left. And so go Pisces. There are no boundaries anymore. Now, let me just say, it is good to have some restrictions in life. When you're too boundaryless, people take advantage of you. Your energy seeps out of you because you're giving too much. There's no boundaries with what you're putting out there. We need boundaries, don't get me wrong. But I do like the idea that there's no limitations anymore. I hate limits. I hate rules. I hate regulations. So thanks, Pluto. Come on into my 12th house. There is also the growth of deep self-knowledge. There are no boundaries, and therefore we can have great bounds forward in healing our soul from past life. As I've already mentioned, this is the realm of past lives, the 12th house. Past life karmic wounds. Pluto's phenomenally karmic, like the most karmic planet. He's not the Lord of Karma, that's Saturn, but he is the Lord of karmic trauma. And here in the 12th house, he's going to heal the soul from your karmic trauma. So if you've been burned at the stake in a past lifetime and you feel a bit like about that happening again in this lifetime, that's me. I feel that way. I'm petrified I'm going to get rounded up and put in a prison or something like that. But, that trauma that may have happened in a past life to me can be healed now with Pluto moving into the 12th house. There's this purging in the psyche, purging the psyche of the trauma experiences from past lives or early childhood trauma as well. So Pisces, what a gift, what a blessing. This is so liberating, so freeing, so removing of these psychological boundaries that might be inhibiting you and sabotaging you from great success in life. What a blessing this transit of Pluto is. Now, that said, because this is the realm of past lives, I would encourage you all to look into past life regression if you've never done so. It should be a high priority now to understand your past lives and to understand what you're healing from. Remember, I do work with Robin, my beautiful, gentle, motherly soul friend who hosts past life regressions by Zoom anywhere in the world. She is available at the on the Guiding Star Astrology Wellness Hub page. Check her out and make an appointment. And if you've got another past life regressionist, go see them. But Robin is available for anybody who needs some past life regression work. It should be a high priority for Pisces people once Pluto moves into this realm of the chart. Pluto in the 12th house, sparkling imagination, sparkling creativity. Take time to activate these gorgeous gifts of increased imagination and creativity when Pluto is here. It'll be coming through from the divine, your poetry, filmmaking, art, music, just flowing through you, my gorgeous Pisces friends. Now, some Pisces people might start looking to serve other people in places of retreat or exile, like in a prison or in a hospital, at a resort, at some holiday industry or something like that. You might be looking to maybe work in those fields or help others in those through those mechanisms. You start to be able to see more purpose to life and experience spiritual wholeness and soul contentment as Pluto moves through here over the next 20 years. Now, some astrologers believe that Pluto is actually exalted in Pisces. And of course, Pisces, isn't that nice to know? Pisces is connected to the 12th house where Pluto is now will be now transiting for us. So therefore, Pluto does brilliantly in the 12th house. So for Pisces people, it's a lucky time, it's a blessed time, it's an empowered time to have Pluto transiting the 12th house. Yay, aren't we lucky? So happy to share that with you, Pisces. All right, Aries, if you are an Aries rising sign person, an Aries sun or an Aries moon, it's good to know all three and check out all three because they're all in some way, shape or form going to be applicable. Sorry, my hair is just getting down my shirt. They're all going to be applicable for you over the coming years. Check them all out, Aries. But for you, Pluto moving into your 11th house for the next 20 years. This is the transit that I've just experienced myself. Before we dive into what it means, I want to remind my Aries friends that until the 8th of April, my newly released intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy is available for $100 off the standard price. This is a one-time only offer. I'm not going to regularly discount this course. There's 100 hours in this course, and I think I need a bit of remuneration for all that work that I've done. So $100 off is where it's at, people. So don't sit there waiting for, a better deal to come along. You're not going to get a better deal from me than this. But join me to celebrate this exciting launch, and let's explore the cosmos together and learn astrology together. Okay. In the 11th house, Pluto in the 11th house, you will become, over the next 20 years, passionate about finding your happiness. I totally vouch for this. This is the transit that I've just gone through since 2008. I have discovered what true happiness is. Before that, I thought it was the white picket fence and the 3.5 kids and the, fancy car in the garage. I thought it was all that stuff, and it's not. I have found so much more deeply and richly what real happiness is at a soul level. That's where you're heading, Aries, to find that out for yourself. What is really true happiness for you? And so there becomes, it's not that you're going to have like only good times in the next 20 years. That's not what I'm saying here, but there is going to be a focus on enjoying your life now. You know, I worked, very hard for a number of years at building up a career that I did not actually enjoy. It was all for the money and the status and all that frivolous stuff. Oh, not frivolous stuff that I actually don't value now. And I've moved into a realm and a lifestyle that I utterly enjoy. I work from home. I share my knowledge of astrology with people. I teach astrology. I do readings for people. At the moment, I'm not. I do intend to return to that now that my astrology courses are getting more underway. But I've found my what I consider to be enjoyment in my everyday lifestyle now. And that's what's going to happen for you, Aries. There's going to be a focus on enjoying your life and what it means to enjoy your life. So you might change your goals. You might change your ambitions, as I've just described. In fact, that's probably very likely to happen at some stage in the next 20 years. And there might also be some strong transformations of the friendship groups and the associations that you have, the networks that you have. The friends that I had prior to 2008, I don't even keep in contact with anyone who's not family, really, from that era. I have completely changed my friendship groups, not in a mean or inconsiderate way, but just because I've evolved in a certain direction and they've evolved in another direction and our paths don't cross anymore. So big transformation of friendship groups and associations. You'll be also magnetically drawn to some people, particularly the spiritual type of people. So there's a redefinition of friendship to now be more Plutonian types of friends. People with, maybe occult interests or spiritual interests, people who are passionate and deep, no superficial friendships now. The friends that you make while Pluto transits this realm of the chart are going to be based on a, deep connection. There will be some big upheavals, obviously, that come into your friendships. But that's okay. It's designed to purge what's not needed and to bring depth to the friendships that you do have. So you need to be very wary, though. The shadow side of this is that Pluto in the 11th house can mean your friends suddenly get very bossy around you, or they become too dominating, or they're manipulative or secretive or something like that, very Plutonian. And so you've got to try to balance them being like that to you, or you being too much like that to your friends. You can go to that extreme with your friends as well when Pluto transits here. Be very conscious of this. Knowledge is power. When you know, I could be a bit bossy, I could be a bit manipulative, then you're like, I'm going to pull back so I don't do that. I'm going to keep my karma clean, which is very important with Pluto, let me tell you. So it's really about dissolving alliances that no longer serve you. And it's time to trust your instincts about those things. I had a terrible situation over the last 20 years with a girlfriend who I was very close with and who supported me through my divorce and all sorts of things like that. And then through some terrible manipulation from another party, that friendship ended abruptly out of the blue. But you know what? I trusted my gut on that, and I was like, well, I'm not going to go chasing that friendship. That's the choice they've made. And I allow that person to make their choice, and I just trust that it's for the higher good. And that's how I felt about it. And I really haven't regretted sort of not groveling back to that friend or begging that friend, oh, come and be my friend again. Or, even I did feel sad for a time, but I didn't lose myself in grief over that lost friendship. It was traumatic and difficult, but I trusted my gut, which was, I think this is actually, if that's the way things are, then this needed to happen and fall apart. So we become, now this is the house of dreams and goals, not night dreams that we have where you can have prophecies in your dreams and that sort of thing. No, this is more about my aspirations. So you become clear about your aspirations, your goals and your dreams, clear about what you need to do to improve and better your world. You might be very much called now, Aries, to join alternative groups and societies and spiritual clubs and organizations. You probably will experience a growing interest in science and information. That might include astrology as well. Aquarius is linked to astrology from the scientific point of view that astrology, the research point of view astrology provides. You'd be very passionate now, Pluto here, about freedom and about uplifting the disadvantaged and the underdog, the groups of people who are marginalized. You will become quite passionate about that. But I have to say, there's a bit of an oil and water effect. Pluto is passionate, and the 11th house is somewhat a detached house. So what does that mean? There might be times of tug of war with your deeper self over the next 20 years. Should I get involved with that activism, or should I just sit back? Should I get passionate about that worthy cause, or should I just, rest on my laurels? There's going to be a tug of war that might sometimes happen. And finally, I just have to say, some people consider Pluto to be either exalted in Pisces or exalted in Leo. So we talked about when Pluto's exalted in Pisces, and therefore connected to the 12th house in exaltation. But Aries, if Pluto happens to be exalted in Leo, and the connection with Leo is to the 5th house, then this is in the opposite sign. So there can be a bit of challenge and struggle and difficulties that come through this 20-year period, because this is if Pluto is indeed exalted in Leo. He will be in the house connected to being in fall. So just keeping you, giving you a heads up about that. Also, this is the sign of Leo, and he's in the fall Aquarius there as well. So just being aware of that. I've just gone through, like I said, my Pluto in the 11th house transit, so theoretically in fall as well, and it's been full of many roller coaster rides and a lot of difficulties and challenges, but I've found my happiness, like I described. I have purged the friendships that no longer served me, developed wonderful new friendships, and I know what brings joy to my life now. So you're about to experience that too, Aries. Lots of fun. Taurus rising, Taurus sun, Taurus moon. You can look at all three, and I encourage you to do so wherever your moon sign is, wherever your rising sign is, wherever your sun sign is. But if you have one of those placements in Taurus, this is the section that we're talking about for you. And Pluto on the 23rd of March is moving into your 10th house. Before we get into that and what that means, I want to just remind my Taurus friends that until the 8th of April, the intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy is available for $100 off the standard price. So join me to celebrate this exciting event, and let's explore the cosmos together and learn the deep nitty-gritty about intermediate level astrology. Check out the syllabus if you want to know more. Links in the description below. Now, for Taurus friends, Pluto in the 10th house can cause you to become very obsessed with career and with achievement. And because you're so passionate, because you're so enthusiastic about this realm of your life, there can be some amazing opportunities that come your way to enhance your public visibility or your level of career success. So keep your eyes peeled for the next 20 years for opportunities, and trust your gut and trust your instinct about which step to take. Pluto can bring about that sort of inner knowing that tells you, I need to jump in this direction, or I need to go in that direction. It's time now, Taurus friends, to fulfill your ambitions. This is the house of your career goals, not just your general life goals, which is more of an 11th house thing. This is the house where we look at, what do you want to achieve career-wise? What do you want to be known for out in the world? What legacy do you want to leave to those who come after you? Don't hesitate. Take action with whatever you need to do to fulfill your ambitions. Pluto is there to empower you for the next 20 years. Now, for some people, fame and honors can happen. Now, I was during this transit in my life, I got married, I had children, and I was doing the white picket fence thing and the 3.5 kids. Actually, I've only got 3, not 0.5. And I was also doing some study. So it wasn't a time when I leapt into fame, because that just wasn't the direction I was pushing my life. But my ex-husband, who was an Elvis impersonator at the time we met, he decided during this transit, because he's a Pisces rising just like me, so we both went through these transits at the same time. He decided he was going to shift his focus, shift his worldly aspirations into becoming a rockabilly performer. And so he changed his career. and left the Elvis impersonating behind and moved into writing his own music and performing at rockabilly festivals. And he indeed rose during that transit into a high level of fame and honor in that realm of society, in that subculture. I mean, and when I'm saying that, like he lives in Australia, but he travels, 4 and 5 times a year to be like the headline act at festivals in England and Germany and Spain and the Viva Las Vegas festival in Vegas. He is known worldwide in that sphere. So he definitely had a rise to fame at that time. So again, that is another manifestation of Pluto in the 10th house. Fame and honors can happen for some people, especially if that's what you're looking for and you're building towards and you're striving towards. So get ready, Taurus. If that's what you want, it may just happen for you. Keep your karma clean though, my friends. Pluto is the planet of karmic reckoning. He really, really is. So no ruthless climbing the career ladder at the expense of your integrity or the way you treat other people, because the price you will pay for doing that will be way too steep. I'm talking public disgrace, loss of career in the worst way. Keep it clean, keep it honorable, consider others, be respectful. If you don't, you'll pay the price. Keep your karma clean. Make sure you remember also to help others in need. This transit, it's not a time for being the victim and saying, oh, everyone should help me because, oh, poor me, I went through this, or my childhood was like that, and oh, boo-hoo. No, this is a time for stepping into leadership, stepping into your leadership powers for the good of others and leading other people and helping other people. So make sure you make that a priority. And if you haven't healed childhood wounds, and if you do feel like a victim in some way, then by golly, get out there in the next 20 years and do the self-work to heal those things. Because you have this once in a lifetime, albeit a 20-year period, to step into your leadership power and potential. And if you're sabotaging yourself by, poor me, it's not fair, life's been so hard, then you miss this once in a lifetime opportunity to really grab your power in the public realm. Many people, as I have already illustrated, will change their careers at this time into something more meaningful and more purposeful for them. So that might be happening to you already, or it might happen at some stage in the next 20 years, but it will happen. There will be a shift into finding meaning and purpose out there with what you're doing in the world. Also, just finally, check on your father or father figures regularly, because those fatherly people in our lives, our sort of patriarchs, they might become the shadow side of Pluto, like expressing more obsessive, manipulative, or dominating. Or we might see a better scenario happen, and hopefully that's the case for all my viewers, that a father patriarchal figure becomes more spiritual or more psychic or interested in the occult and metaphysics and all those things that Pluto rules. Thank you, Taurus friends. Now, Gemini rising, Gemini sun, Gemini moon people. All right, guys. My mutable Gemini friends, we are seeing Pluto moving into your 9th house on the 23rd of March. He's going to be there for 20 years. What does that mean for you? Before I get to that, let me just inform you, if you haven't heard already, that on the until the 8th of April, so from now until the 8th of April, my intermediate course, intermediate level in the Royal Stars Academy, is available for $100 off the standard price. So join me to celebrate this very exciting event. Let's explore the cosmos together. If you want to become a certified astrologer, this is the course for you. If you just want to study for your own knowledge and growth, it's also the best step you can take to understanding astrology deeper. Okay, so Gemini, in your 9th house, here comes Pluto. You might become quite obsessed, because Pluto is obsessive. He's an obsessive, intense energy, but obsessed with good things in the case of the 9th house, with finding meaning, with finding purpose, looking under every stone for your truth and what is real to you means that you're going to find it. You're going to be willing to go to the ends of the earth to find what is real and what is true and meaningful and purposeful in your life. So if you've been like wondering what your purpose is, if you've been wondering why life feels like it has no meaning, hold on to your hats, Gemini. You're going to find out. It's going to come to you. You're going to know, this is my purpose. This is my goal. This is my meaning. This is what fulfills me. It will be revealed in the next 20 years. Now, you might spend some time in the next 20 years exploring religions and philosophies and some sort of cultural activities. Great, go for it. This is an empowered time to do so. You can even find that you might be becoming quite prophetic by nature. You know, you'll say something and then a day later it'll happen. And you're like, oh my God, did I bring that about? Did I manifest that? You are becoming prophetic. There's an inner knowing, whether you are conscious of it or not. It's an energy flowing through you now. So that could be quite exciting. There is, for those of us who've had high-level spiritual experiences in life, you know the bliss that comes with that sense of oneness with the divine. You, in the next 20 years, are probably going to have opportunity to experience this many times. Now, years ago, many years ago, I had Pluto transit through my 9th house. And that was at a time when I was very passionately involved in the Christian subculture. And at that time, I would frequently have high-level sort of ecstasy experiences in church or, you know, at a rally or something like that, or even just, you know, singing in my bedroom at home, and I'd get lifted to this high level of ecstasy and of a spiritual nature. Now, admittedly, at the time, I was involved in a religious organization that I don't align with now, but what I'm trying to describe here is the bliss of spiritual devotion is what you might experience, and it can be so beautiful. And I'll just explain that. Like, I was young, you know, I was in my teens, and so it's what I'd been taught and where I'd been pushed to go with my life and my spiritual understanding. If you're experiencing this at an older age, in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you're going to be having these times of bliss in spirituality, spiritual devotion, connected to what you've really already owned and what you've become, not what you've been, you know, directed into as a young teenager. So just to clarify that. So wonderful times of spiritual bliss that are coming your way. But also you might find that there will be some powerful and transformative guru people that come into your life, teachers that come into your life. And therefore, Gemini, do consider doing the Royal Stars Academy. Not that I'm a guru or anything like that, but it's a time for learning from people with more knowledge than you have. So, you know, the astrology can be one of those things that you might like to do. But you will encounter people that transform you through their knowledge, through their teaching, through their wisdom. You will also have easier access to travel, and you'll probably get lots of it. Lots of opportunities to travel overseas and that sort of thing, or even just, you know, a lot locally. You know, when I say locally, I mean like if you're in America and let's say you live in Oregon, you might travel to Tennessee. You're in the same country, but it's a big trip. So that's what I'm talking about. So big travel, even within your country. And it's likely that these trips and these sojourns will transform you. They'll be like pilgrimages that change you at a deep level. So easy access to that, lots of it. You'll be very influenced by foreign cultures and foreign people during the next 20 years. In fact, some of you might choose to live overseas in order to study at some stage in the next 20 years. If you're thinking about doing that, then your instincts are bang on, you should. You also, just as a word of warning, you want to be careful about becoming too dogmatic about your beliefs. You know, this is the house of dogmatism, the 9th house. And with Pluto, who's quite an obsessive energy going into the house of dogmatism, you just want to be conscious that you don't become obsessive or domineering regarding what you think, you know, like beating people over the head with what you think. To some people in your intimate circle, you might see that you've gone a little bit crazy with some sort of belief or, you know, idea or something like that. So just be conscious of paring it back and not forcing your opinion on others, just celebrating your newfound understanding and beliefs yourself without having to sort of Bible bash people with it. There is likely to be a big change in your worldview that occurs during this time. And sometimes it comes because of a trauma or a distress. But if that should happen in your life, just flow with it, knowing that that experience will be refining you and purifying you to help you see things from a more enlightened perspective, because that's what Pluto's mission is. That's what his goal is while he's in the 9th house, to help you see things from a bigger perspective. You'll probably obtain some sort of new faith and a big picture vision of your future and what you want to be and what you want to achieve. Some people will also find intense sexual love and sort of soulmate love, powerful love experiences, if they're looking for a second life partner. So Gemini, if you've been married once, or you've bought a house with somebody, a partner once, or something like that, you've had a committed relationship at some stage, and that's over, and you're now looking, praying, hoping for the next partner to enter into your life, Pluto moving into this realm of the chart can bring you a very intense, even karmic, passionate love affair that could be your second life partner. Thank you, Gemini. Cancer rising, Cancer sun, Cancer moon. Don't forget to check out all 3 of wherever your placements are, because they'll all be applicable to you in some way or another. I'm just going to make sure that's steady. Yes, it is. Pluto is moving into your 8th house, my Cancer friends. Now, before I discuss what that means for you, from now until the 8th of April, I want to let you know that the intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy astrology course is available for $100 off the standard price. I'm not going to be repeating an offer like this. This is it. So join me to celebrate this exciting event. Come and study astrology with me, learn astrology off me, and let's explore the cosmos together. Okay, my Cancer friends, this is going to be the next 20 years, I can unequivocally say, is going to be the most transformative period of your life, because this is the realm of the chart that has to do with change and transformation, and in goes the planet of change and transformation into this realm. So get ready, hang on to your hats. Life is not going to be the same again at the end of this 20-year period. It's time to surrender anything that is holding you back and keeping you from becoming all that you can be. Now, for some people, this might be painful. Cancer is one of the signs that holds on to things and struggles to let go. Cancer and Taurus particularly. I mean, think of the image of the crab. It's got pincers. When it grabs on, is it letting go easily? No, you have to pry those little pincers apart to let go. That's Cancer. So that could be a challenge for some of you Cancer people, learning to let go and surrender, so that you can step into your power, step into all that you have incarnated to be. So get ready. It might be difficult for some of you to do so. I have a very precious Cancer friend who is currently going through this process as Pluto moves into this sign, letting go of all they've been attached to make a brand new start that will transform their whole journey, turning their life around 180 degrees. That's what we're talking about. Many Cancer people will experience mystic, psychic, or even supernatural experiences now. So deep, some of you might go and do an ayahuasca ceremony, or you might have a sort of out-of-body experience, astral projection, or something like that, and you're just like, whoa, it's a powerful time for those hidden energetic experiences to manifest in your life. So it's the best time in your life to do a deep dive into any hidden mysteries, occult, to learn astrology. So come and study with me at the Royal Stars Academy. It won't take you 20 years to get your certification, but you'll really be in the right zone with it while Pluto is in the 8th house. I've got this position natally, Pluto in the 8th house, which is why I love astrology so much and why it's a big passion of mine. Pluto is passion in the 8th house, the passionate house. So hidden mysteries and secrets and, ancient stuff from the past and all that sort of thing, you're going to get right into that. You will also be coming to grips with your own soul desires now. What is it that your soul really, really wants deep down? And if you're not living it, if you're not pursuing it, Pluto in the 8th house is going to encourage you, support you, empower you to make the necessary changes so that you can manifest those deep soul desires, those deep truths that you want to embrace in your life. It's a very purging and a very purifying time. So don't fight the work that Pluto wants to do in this regard. Don't cling. Be willing and let go, because, excuse me, frog in my throat. Be willing to let go in order to change your life, because if you resist what Pluto is trying to do, oh my goodness, I learnt that the hard way. Do not resist what Pluto is trying to do, because he will pull the rug out from under you to make it happen. He doesn't brook any opposition. If you say, okay, Pluto, you're calling me to walk away from this particular experience or this circumstance or these people or this relationship or whatever, and you go, okay, if that's what you're asking, he's going to go, fantastic, blessing, here it is. Because Pluto is the ancient god of great wealth, and it's in our traumas, it's in our purification processes, it's in our letting go and dissolving of what we thought we had to be and what we thought we had to have and what we thought life was all about, that Pluto then gives us the gold. So very powerful planet, very profound. Don't cling, be willing to let go. Now, this is a house of sex as well. So Cancer, your sexual desire will be intensified. You're going to have like an amped up sex drive and libido. Yay, fun if you have the opportunity to indulge that. But you also might become extremely sexy and desirable to many people as well. So just beware of that. You know, how far are you going to take that? Be conscious of that affecting your life as well. You will be inspired by personal psychological work. So you will grow profoundly through studying psychology or doing psychological work. So I encourage you to look into that aspect of life. And it's a time for discovering many of the answers to life mysteries. You could be somebody that's been searching for truth for ages. And here goes Pluto into the 8th house that's going to say, here's the answers. Here's the truth. You might discover the truth about death or life after death or other dimensions, the truth about reincarnation, the truth about astral travel, the truth about astrology. Suddenly, penny drop, you get it. Great time for that to happen. Legacies, wills, taxes, and other financial affairs that we're talking about, you know, the finances coming from other people to us, they can actually bring about very intense experiences in your life, for better or worse. So once again, in these affairs, be sure to act with integrity and fairness in all financial situations. Be kind above all. I mean, that's the greatest principle for life that I think a lot of our leaders don't follow, that principle, but we can, and keep our karma clean. You know, be kind in all situations regarding legacies, wills, divorce settlements, taxes, that kind of thing. And if you are kind, if you act with integrity and fairness, not giving yourself away, but just being respectful, then again, Pluto will bless you with the gold that you really seek. If you don't act with integrity, with kindness, with fairness in those sorts of situations, be prepared to reap the karmic results of karmic consequences of your manipulative or underhanded actions. Okay, I'm just warning you about that. Consciousness in our actions is essential when we're dealing with the finances of other people or joint finances in any way under this. But it is a massive time for Cancer people to be reborn into a whole new life experience. So if you've been in a rut, if you've been stuck, if life has felt sour to you, then get ready, because you are about to move into joy, excitement, and the sweetness of life, and get out of that rut, get unstuck. It's a time of rebirth, my beautiful Cancer friends. What a lovely time this can be if you work with it consciously. Cancer to Leo, Leo rising, Leo sun, and Leo moon people. All right, let me get my little astro wheel settled there. Happy, good. Pluto is moving into your 7th house. Now, do be sure to check out your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign. If you have any of those in Leo, this is for you. Before we talk about the journey of Pluto over the next 20 years through the 7th house, I want to just mention that until the 8th of April, from now to the 8th of April, the intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy, which has just been released, it is available for $100 off the standard price. I'm not going to repeat that offer. That's a one-time only discount. If you want to study with me at intermediate level about astrology, then head on over, the links in the description below, to the Royal Stars Academy. Join me to celebrate this exciting event. Let's explore the cosmos and astrology together. Okay, Pluto in the 7th house. Love life transformation. That is the banner for this particular transit. You will never be the same again. Okay, your love life is not going to be the same again. Relationships will not be the same again, Leo friends, once this transit is over in 20 years. This is a period of your life, sometime in the next 20 years, when the most passionate, the most emotional relationship of your life might arrive if you are single. If you're looking for true love, soulmate love, it is likely to come now through this transit. Of course, you need other things manifesting in your chart as well, which is why, it may not happen, for another 15 years, 10 years, whatever, in this time frame. But Pluto in the 7th house heralds that eventuality. True love, soulmate love, deep, intense, passionate love. Yay! Oh, I've never been so happy to be a Leo sun. Partnered people who are already in partnerships. You might go through intense transformation and change in your relationship. The relationship that you begin with will not be the relationship that you end with, and that's if you remain together too. You as a couple, as a group entity, that's what a relationship is. You go from being two single entities to a united energy. Well, that united energy is going to shift and change and take on a whole new dynamic over the next 20 years. So, you might be, you might be a young family with little kids and what have you, and that's the nature of your partnership, is all about the kids and the family. But in 20 years' time, I'm sorry, but it's not going to be about the kids anymore. It's going to be about you as a couple, and that can bring about some very intense transformation. So that's an example. Some relationships will also end. If there have been secrets in the relationship, if there's been a lack of authenticity in the union, if there's, if there has been sort of, you're just not invested in it anymore, you are not passionate, if you're not Plutonian about the relationship, if you're not passionate about the relationship, Pluto will say, well, it's time to get passionate. Find a relationship that you will be, deeply invested in. He's going to end one relationship to free you up to go find the right one. So some relationships, because of that, will end. There will be in your life a hunger for excitement, a hunger for the erotic. Pluto is an erotic planet, and lots more passion in your love connections now. If you're not getting it, you're going to go looking for it. So affairs are not uncommon with a Pluto transit through the 7th house. It's not because you're a nasty person. It's not because, you like to hurt other people. It's not that. It's because you're not feeling passion in the relationship you've got. There's no eroticism in the relationship that you've got. It's tumbleweed city and there's cobwebs down there. Affairs are not uncommon because there's a problem. Not because you're a nasty person if you have an affair, or your partner's a nasty person if they have an affair. No, there's a problem. It needs dealing with. So be conscious that that's one of the expressions, my Leo friends, of Pluto in the 7th house. Another thing, be wary of being attracted to difficult people while Pluto transits this realm of the chart. Obsessive people, jealous people, manipulative people, volatile people. Be very, very careful of that. You don't want to hook up with the wrong person and then, 5 years down the track, you're like, oh my God, I can't get away from this relationship. It's just, it's suffocating me, you don't want to end up in that position. So be very conscious that Pluto in the 7th house can bring Plutonian types of people into your life that yeah, you want to double check, get your friends' opinions, and give it plenty of time. Don't go rushing into anything with a new person. Your partners, and I'm talking now business partners as well as personal partners, may start to behave in a Plutonian way, because this is the house of other people, and here goes Pluto into their lives as much as yours. So they might be, suddenly becoming very intense, very irrational, very independent, obsessive, perhaps about different things, obsessive compulsive. They might also develop, in the positive sense, Plutonian deep spirituality or mystical tendencies. Or they might get involved in astrology. Your partners might be quite keen on understanding Pluto things, which astrology is one. So there can be power struggles with partners as well. So it's really important to practice your compromising skills while Pluto transits the 7th house. I will keep note of that myself, learning to, it will be hard. Let's just face it. It's going to be hard for Leo people to do that, because I'm a Leo sun, and because of that, quite a few placements in my chart that lean towards great independence, it's harder for me to compromise, but I'm conscious of it. I'm aware of it, that I need to do some give and take. So that's what I'm trying to inform you of, Leo, is that there might be some power struggles with partners, but both you and your partner need to learn the art of compromise. It can be hard for a Leo person, because we're the king, or the queen, we are the center of our world. And so, there'll be lessons to be learned in that regard during the next 20 years. It's a big learning time in relationships, actually. You'll be developing more depth and intensity in your close connections, and that's going to be glorious. It's going to be beautiful. But there'll be lessons to be learned along the way, which is good, because that's what relationships are all about. They expand us, or they should. If they're not expanding us, then we have to question why we're in them. They expand us, they help us grow. Your personal power is also enhanced during this time. Why? Because Pluto is making an opposition aspect to the house of you, Leo. So your personal power can also be enhanced. But again, you've got to learn to be able to compromise as well. It's time to take control of your destiny, to make it happen, to make life happen how you want it to. Pluto in the 7th house. This is the house of the public. And you might become more aware of your public than ever before now. You might be becoming more compassionate towards others, more considerate, or more intense about your relationship with the public, perhaps, in some way. It is a business house, the 7th house, so it's a wonderful time for success in business and success in socializing. Pluto empowers wherever it goes, and he's going to send empowerment into your dealings with other people and your business affairs. Yay! Thanks there, Pluto. Partnerships with important, powerful people can occur, because Pluto is important, powerful people. And so you might form alliances and allegiances with important, powerful people that can be very transformative, very life-changing for you and for them. So, yay, thumbs up. Now, just finally on this, for some people, lawsuits and confrontations with enemies might occur. But if that does happen, these are, remember Pluto is karmic, these will be a karmic reckoning, and they provide you a chance to purge the past and clear that karma. Okay? So act with integrity in those circumstances should they arise over the next 20 years, and see them as an opportunity to end karmic ties with enemies or in a legal situation and that sort of thing. Okay? Knowledge is power. Thank you, Leo. All right. Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon. The energy of Pluto and his ingress into Aquarius is going to be happening. Whoopsies, I'm going to get this right. Which way are we going? is going to be happening in your 6th house, my friends, down here in Aquarius. Now, before I discuss what that's all about for you, I just want to point out, Virgo, that from now until the 8th of April, my intermediate level, which I've just released, of the Royal Stars Academy is available for $100 off the standard price. If you want to study astrology or become a certified astrologer, come and celebrate this exciting event with me. Let's explore the cosmos together. I am not going to be offering a discount on this particular level of the Royal Stars Academy again. If you want to do this course, now is the time. You'll get $100 off the price. Okay, let's talk about the 6th house. Virgo, you know all about 6th house energy because for you, that's what this is all about. You know, like you have a connection to the 6th house as a Virgo rising, sun or moon person. So if you're someone who's been unwell, if you have not had a healthy routine or there's been health issues or something like that, Pluto will now draw attention to those physical problems so that they get dealt with once and for all. So that might mean that they get exacerbated for a time so that you go and see a practitioner. You know, maybe you've had sore back or something like that, and you've just ignored it, you just put up with it, it is what it is, whatever, and then it gets to a point where you're like, I can't ignore this any longer. Thanks, Pluto. But what he's trying to do, Pluto is trying to expose the problems in our life, and in the house of health and well-being, he's going to expose, hey, you've got a problem with your back or whatever it happens to be, and you'll be like, oh, all right, I'll go and see a chiropractor, or all right, I'll buy that stand-up desk. All right, I'll start doing core exercises to deal with my back problem. And Pluto's like, good, you've listened to me. You've evolved. You are taking care of your well-being. That's what I wanted. And now that back injury can be rectified, or that back problem. That's the kind of thing. And I've used the illustration of a back situation, but it can be anything to do with health and well-being, anything to do with finances that need highlighting, that are out of balance, that aren't working, anything to do with work situations, lack of education, any imbalanced areas of life, basically. Any things that are problematic, Pluto's going to be saying, time to focus on these problems, time to fix them, time to make it right. Get ready, my Virgo friends. That's going to be the thrust of the next 20 years. It's time to take responsibility for your own well-being. So you might become, over the next 20 years, very passionate about fitness, about diet, exercise, going to the gym. You might get passionate about seeing alternative practitioners. Pluto can be quite an alternative energy, and certainly Aquarius is, that is for sure. So you'll be looking for, acupuncturists and naturopaths and energy healers and that kind of thing to help you with your health and well-being journey. But Pluto is the planet of regeneration, and so more than ever, Virgo, this transit of Pluto can help you regenerate your body now and heal things that have been out of whack, if you willingly go for it. If you deny it and avoid going to the chiropractor for that sore back, and you won't buy a stand-up desk to help you get your posture right and what have you, Pluto's going to go, well, that back's only going to get worse. You have to take ownership. Pluto can regenerate everything and make it better, but he's very keen on improving and perfecting areas of your life now, provided you're willing to get on board with it and take action. So wherever you direct your focus has the ability to feel Pluto's magic touch, maybe in your routine, how organized you are, your daily work, your health, your cleanliness, those sorts of things. So watch out for overblown attention to detail. Virgo, you're probably a bit susceptible to that anyway. But, where you're looking at the nitty gritty instead of seeing the big picture, the crossing the T's and dotting the I's instead of seeing what the whole sentence is trying to say. So that can be you can be a bit too obsessive about that. So consciousness, knowledge is power. If you know, Pluto's in my 6th house, I can go a bit overboard with that sort of thing, then you can do something about it. You can fix it. This house is the house that has to do with discrimination, and your ability to discriminate becomes very empowered now. In fact, Virgo people are very good at that anyway. But you need to be conscious of taking it too far. Too critical, too nitpicky, too judgmental towards others. Be very, very wary of that, Virgo friends, because it can get exacerbated with Pluto here. You'll be very driven with your daily work, really wanting to, put in some intense, passionate energy into your daily work, but be wary of workaholism, perfectionism, and it can lead to burnout. Knowledge is power. If you know that could be an outcome, you can sort of create some balance and routine and steady yourself. Some people actually change jobs when Pluto transits through the 6th house, and usually that will be to move into something more meaningful. So, and we're talking about jobs, not so much worldly aspirations, but jobs that pay the bills. Maybe you've been working as a medical receptionist for years and you're like, oh, I'm just not feeling it anymore. This actually feels like, I'm just an advocate for the pharma companies. I think I need something more substantial and more meaningful in my life. So away you go and do something else. There might be, Virgo, some passion to be of service and assistance in the lives of the less fortunate. So again, that can create more meaning for you, and you go out and do social work instead of working as a medical receptionist or something, for example. So you'd be very passionate about having more meaning and more service to others with Pluto here. There can be, if you're an employer and you're going through this transit, there might be power struggles with your employees. Be wary of that, of course, and be very considerate, knowing, okay, I've got Pluto in my 6th house, that might be an issue. You might be more sensitive to criticism when you're at work, whether you're an employee or an employer. You might be more, just very sensitive to people's critique. Okay, recognize if you get critiqued at work, which happens all the time when you're in, employed in various industries. Just remember, okay, that's Pluto in my 6th house. Don't take it personally. Just do my best. You could also become a bit obsessed with your appearance, Virgo, during this time, and very more concerned with the practical side of life. So it can sort of suck the spiritual side of life away as you become very focused on how am I paying the bills, who's cooking dinner tonight, I need to go to the gym, all those everyday routine things take a lot of your time and energy and focus now. So you might have to put some conscious effort into maintaining your spiritual life. But you know what? Significant changes to your personal daily life are going to be made over the next 20 years, and they're going to help you live a better, more practical, more service-filled life that is fulfilling on an everyday basis for you over the next 20 years. Thank you, Virgo. Libra rising, Libra sun, Libra moon, people. Oh my goodness. You guys are having, or we guys, because this is one of my placements, we are having Pluto move through our 5th house. Yippee! Okay, but before I dive into this, Libra, I want to let you know that from now until the 8th of April, the intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy is available for $100 off the standard price. If you've been waiting for the release of this course, this is the best time to buy it. I'm never going to make that offer again. This is it. So join me to celebrate this exciting event. Let's learn astrology and explore the cosmos together at the Royal Stars Academy. Links in the description below. Okay, 5th house Pluto. This is the next 20 years is going to be time for you to express your unique individuality. Your life can become more colorful, more passionate, more meaningful now. Wonderful. And Pluto is focus, and your focus will turn to fame and recognition when Pluto goes through the 5th house. It's time to pursue those ends if that's something that you want in life. It's also the most creative phase of your life, so it's time to pursue creativity and creative expression of self as well. And you'll be passionate about those things. You'll be enthusiastic and you'll put your energy and focus into those things. You become more vital and active when Pluto transits the 5th house. There's no sitting on the sidelines. It's time to get fully immersed with life. It's time to partake in all the joy that's available to you. Now, some people say that Pluto is exalted in the sign of Leo. And for Libra people, well, for everybody, Leo has an association with the 5th house. And so for Libra people, here is Pluto in the house, not the sign of his exaltation, but the house of his exaltation. So it's really going to be an empowered, blessed time for joy, for creativity, for fame, for recognition. Pluto can bring intensity to that and focus to that and empowerment to those things in your life. If you have children, Libra, this is a time where you are going to grow great attachments with your children. You're going to be really bonded with your children now. Go deeper in the relationship you have with your children now. Thank God. How wonderful. Who wouldn't want that? There can be some life-changing experiences that you have with your children, where the relationships are transformed through some sort of intense experiences that you share together. Your children can also be empowered by this placement of this transit of Pluto in your chart. So it might mean that your children might, over the next 20 years, receive awards or recognition or be empowered in some way. So it's a blessing for your children as well as for your relationship with your children. Now, if there's karma to be cleared with your children, some Libran people might find that the difficult karmic expression that might exhibit is that your children might go through some difficulties now. But that's for the purposes of dealing with old karmic wounds and issues between you and your children so that they can be cleared and transformed. Because Pluto wants to transform the relationships with your children and give you the gold that's available to you in those relationships. But he might need to clear away some old karma first, okay? Okay, this is the house of romance and dating, Libra. So nice. So you might suddenly find that you have very intense and passionate love affairs, infatuations and romances, and they're going to utterly transform your life. They're going to really change your perception of what romance is, your experience of romance. Maybe you've never had a true romance or a true romantic experience until now. When Pluto goes into your 5th house, get ready. It can absolutely knock the socks off. Your sexual appetite can be heightened. This is one of the sexual houses. There's a few of them. It's not just the 8th house. That is obviously the most sexually oriented house, but this one is also connected to that. So your sexual appetite can be heightened. You'll be more willing to experiment in the love realm and the sex realm than ever before with your lovers and romantic partners. So you're just going to be able to, I'm just so happy for you, Libra. Libra, you're a relationship sign. You're going to love this. You have the potential now to reach new heights of pleasure in the romance department like you've never known. I'm so happy to be a Libra moon. Some married people, okay, if you're in a long-term partnership, sometimes this can be a transit that can bring about affairs, but it only happens if there's a problem in the relationship already. If you're no longer enamored with your partner, if, it's like ho-hum, tumbleweeds, got cobwebs downstairs, there's nothing going on, then affairs can happen because Pluto, planet of passion in the sign of romance, says, well, if there's none in this relationship, I'm going to where there is one. Is passion in a relationship. So the best way to deal with this if you're partnered is to transform, Pluto, your existing relationship so that though you blow those cobwebs out of there, or you generate more love and romantic experiences and feelings of passion with your partner. And so if you want your relationship to last, get on it, people. Take action. It's not a time for sitting back and twiddling your thumbs and expecting your partner to do everything. It's a time for collaborating and making love work. Pluto can empower you to that end. But if you're not willing to do the work, then he might just rip the rug out from under that relationship. Libra and Moon, Sun, or rising people, you might have a strong drive to take risks or to gamble in some way over the next 20 years. Look, just go with your gut. Pluto's the ancient god of great wealth. Here in one of the wealth houses, it could bring blessing and finance your way. So just trust your gut, okay? I'm not saying you're going to go out there and you're going to win. All of us Libra people are going to win Dad's Lotto, or the lottery, as it's called in America. But yeah, we need to know when to rein it in. But if you're feeling a pull, if you walk past, the lottery agency and you're like, I might just buy a scratchy, why not? Just don't lose all your whole income gambling, okay? So know when to rein it in, but go with your gut. Pluto here, for some people, might bring about some kind of blessing in that regard. If you're a professional performer, This is a 20-year period when you're going to be really on the money. You're going to be giving the best performances of your lives. And it can actually, generate a lot of recognition for you and even a rise into some sort of celebrity status as well. So yay, Libra, if this is something you've been wanting, boom. So allow yourself over the next 20 years to follow your heart and act on impulse. It won't lead you astray. Pluto is empowering you and supporting you here. It's time to fulfill your destiny with your creativity, with your self-love and putting yourself out there. The universe is going to give you opportunities to do so. Make the most of this highly creative time. No holding back. Time to express yourself, Libra. No, not as much focus now on others, Libra. It's about you and self-love for you and self-expression for you and creativity that you're giving out there to the world. Go for it. Thank you, Libra. Okay. Scorpio. Scorpio rising, sun or moon people. You can check all signs. And if you've got Scorpio in anyone like Scorpio, sun, moon or rising, then this is the reading for you. Before we talk about Pluto moving through your 4th house for the next 20 years, I just want to mention, Scorpio, that from now until the 8th of April 2023, the intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy has been launched and it is available for $100 off the standard price. I'm not going to make that offer ever again. This is it. I've worked too hard on this course to, keep selling it for nothing. So, 100 hours of astrological in-depth insights and teaching, over 100 hours of videos, workbooks, workshops. You don't want to miss this. Join me, celebrate this exciting launch, and let's explore the cosmos together and do a deep dive into astrology. All right. Pluto through the 4th house. Well, there's going to be, over the next 20 years, a deep focus on developing inner security, inner stability, and personal understanding, my friends. You're going to be hungry to develop a strong foundation in your life now. That will be a strong foundation emotionally and in regard to a true bricks and mortar home base as well. You're going to be hungry for that as well. What is going to happen is it's time when Pluto transits the 4th house to really break away from the influence of your parents, your family, the community that you grew up in. It's time for you to come into your own power, to own your personal power. Maybe you might have experienced sort of feeling trodden on in early childhood, and now it's time to say, no, I'm owning myself, I'm owning my power. Maybe you weren't trodden on in childhood, but maybe, your parents taught you that this was how you act, this was how you live, this is the life you must go for, and you're like, I don't want that life. I'm going to own my power and do it a different way. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. So it's about discovering your own true happiness aside from the expectations of others now. Owning what happiness is for you. It's also a 20-year period when you might be really analyzing and assimilating your childhood experiences, childhood traumas, outworn patterns. You might be really coming to terms with those things and transforming their effect on you during this 20-year period. So therefore, it's a wonderful time to do psychological work and gain some real depth of healing from the past during the next 20 years. Because when Pluto's in this very deep 4th house, change happens at the deepest level, the deepest inner level of your psyche. Also, Pluto here can amplify your intuition. So trust your gut, trust what, the prickling of your thumbs and the goosebumps that you get, trust those things. Pluto in the 4th house. A lot of you Scorpio people, if you haven't done so already, you're going to turn to astrology or the occult to support you now through doing the inner change. So you might have been interested in those things from a curiosity perspective, but now it's going to apply personally to you, those things. Just heads up, on the shadow side of this, my Scorpio friends, there might be times when you're feeling deeply emotional and deeply moody. Be kind to yourself during those times. Be patient with yourself. There's probably going to be times when you will feel like you want to be more in control of your domestic life and your home life, and therefore you'll be willing to act to make changes that are needed to help you feel more in control of where you live, who you live with, the type of home you live in and all that sort of thing. You're going to be very motivated to and focused on making changes in those areas. Pluto is the planet of renovation. So a lot of you Scorpio people are going to be renovating houses in the next 20 years, doing some significant change to the places that you live in. A lot of Scorpio people might actually change places of living, might change a lot in the next 20 years. This has been my transit for the last, since 2008. My Libran moon, as a Libran moon person, this was the transit I had going on for the last 14 years or so. And I have moved more times in the last 14 years than I ever have in my life. And I'm sick of moving. I would like to put down roots somewhere, but Pluto brings change and transformation. So there might be a lot of moving home on the cards for you too. And it might be hard to put down roots because Pluto wants to constantly transform and change things. So yeah, get ready. If your place of living feels somewhat nasty, you might be looking to move a bit over the next 20 years. I would also encourage you to check your plumbing systems, especially at the beginning of this 20-year transit. Make sure they're all up to scratch so that this doesn't express with problems with plumbing over the next 20 years, okay? So watch what goes down that toilet. Make sure there's no drips. I had during this transit that affected me, I had issues with leaky taps that caused termites. So that was heaps of fun, let me tell you. So make sure there's no leaks and everything is working as it should. So it's a great time for diving into archaeology or doing some farming or some real estate deals. These things are ruled by the fourth house. Check in on your mother regularly. Okay, this is the realm to do with the mother. She might be acting oddly in some way because of Pluto's influence here in your chart. So she could express negatively by becoming more manipulative or more controlling, or she might develop an interest in spirituality or an interest in astrology or the occult. For some people, there might be some power struggles with a mother figure over the next 20 years. That's not uncommon, forewarned, forearmed there. But basically, Scorpio, this is a time to develop your inner strength and to work on redefining what security is to you and feels like to you. Thank you, Scorpio. Alrighty. Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius sun, and moon people. If you've got any of those placements, this is the reading for you. And we're looking at Pluto moving into the third house for the next 20 years. Before I talk about that, though, I do want to mention that from now until the 8th of April this year, I am offering my newly released intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy for $100 off. If you want to get certified in astrology, if you want to just do a deep dive into astrological principles and astronomy with astrology, ancient wisdom regarding astrology, all that stuff, then now is your chance while that $100 off offer is running. I'm not going to run that offer again. This is it, because I've put too much work into this course to be, discounting it all the time. So if you want to do it, now's the time. Join me, celebrate the launch of this level of the Royal Stars Academy, and let's explore the cosmos together, my friends. All right, when Pluto moves into the third house, what is going to happen for you in the next 20 years is that you are going to start exhibiting powerful abilities in communication. Suddenly, your public speaking prowess improves. Suddenly, your journal articles and your blogging get picked up by, mainstream academics or something like that, and they're really powerfully invested in what you're telling, what you're saying, what you're communicating. Empowerment, Pluto empowers whatever it touches, and in this case, the third house of communication. Your intellectual powers are deepened. Oh my goodness, Sagittarius, you're smart people already. You're intelligent, you're intelligent sign. And here with Pluto in the third house, oh my word, you are going to just know it. And you're going to also have a great capacity to share what you know now, to teach what you know now. You're the born teachers of the horoscope anyway. This is a great transit for you guys. It's also time to root out what truth is to you, to understand what is true, what is real, and invest in that. Really grab onto that. You're probably going to have a deep desire to understand life from a more psychological perspective too. So you might do a deep dive into psychology. In fact, one of my very beloved friends who's got this Sagittarius rising has just signed up to do a psychological degree. No coincidences there whatsoever. But it can be Pluto here in the house of learning. We can be very passionate about studying hidden mysteries, occult, astrology, energy work, and other metaphysical arts that are represented by Pluto. You have the ability to put an intense level of concentration and focus into your interests and passions now. Your problem-solving abilities are enhanced. You can find solutions easily. Yes. Now, if you've never done so, I would encourage you, my Sagittarian friends, to look into meditation and the power of prayer, because they will be enhanced in your life. Your prayers can be heard now. Meditation can still and calm an intense mind now. It's going to help you heaps with this Pluto transit to do so. You will become more serious about your goals with this transit of Pluto in the third house. And because you're more serious and focused, you become really, really productive. You get into it, you take action, you make it happen instead of saying, oh yeah, one day. No, you're on it. You're in there. You're going for it now. If you work in a communicative industry, if you're an author or a writer, or you work in some sort of communications field, social media, that kind of thing, you can go forward in leaps and bounds now. Your small businesses, if you run a small business, it's going to be enhanced and empowered. You can really have a great strides forward with a small business over the next 20 years because of this too. Your thinking, because this is the house of thinking, goes to a very deep level. You know, it's not, I mean, you're a light sort of energy anyway, Sagittarius, you're jovial, you're ruled by Jupiter, but with Pluto moving through the third house, you have a hunger for knowledge at a deep level. You want to uncover every hidden mystery, overturn every stone and see what's underneath. Hungry for knowledge, deep thinking, deep philosophical thinking. Questioning everything. Your curiosity is very much enhanced because of this transit as well. You just want to know. And you'll find that you're happy. I mean, you're the sign of belief, but here with Pluto in the third house, you're very happy to surrender old beliefs in favor of a better fitting belief, you know. So there might be a changing of your ethics or beliefs or ideas because of Pluto's transit through the third house. Be open and flexible to that. You're a mutable sign. Fantastic. You might find this is the house of siblings and neighbors. You might find that there are some intense dealings with siblings and neighbors that you go through. Siblings might try to manipulate you, control you, or dominate you, or you might try to do that to your siblings. So forewarned, forearmed there. Pull back if you see yourself doing that and go, oh my goodness, Pluto in the third house. Oh, I'm not going to buy into that. I'm going to act with integrity, you know. But it can be very emotional, an emotional time in that sense with the dealings with those people. Really try to avoid those sorts of manipulation and control situations with neighbors and siblings where you can. Power struggles are not uncommon while Pluto transits here. So knowledge is power. Be aware. Now, in the best case scenario with a Pluto transit through the third house, your bond with your siblings can deepen into like a beautiful relationship, and even a profound relationship. So it's my prayer for all of my viewers that that's how it expresses rather than animosity with siblings. So basically it's time, Sagittarius, to grow your knowledge about life and the practicalities of everyday living, to see your small businesses and your communications grow and flourish, to deepen your relationships with siblings. And even as the house of short distance travels, little short trips can bring many big transformations and light bulb moments, epochs in your life. Transformational experiences come through taking a trip to a nearby town for a cup of tea, you know. So do plenty of it because there's blessing awaiting you there. Thank you, Sagittarius. And thank you, Capricorn, for waiting until lucky last. Okay, guys, you have had Pluto in your first house for since 2008. So I bet you're all breathing a big sigh of relief that level of intensity is easing off now and going to a different realm. We're going to explore Pluto moving through your second house in just a minute. But first, I want to remind you guys that from now until the 8th of April, my intermediate level of the Royal Stars Academy in Astrology has just been launched, and I'm selling this for $100 off until the 8th of April. After that, I'm never reducing this again. I've put too much work into this course to sell it for heavily discounted prices. So if you want to do it, jump in now. Jump on board, join the Royal Stars Academy, explore astrology, become a certified astrologer with the IICT, and celebrate this exciting event with me. Thank you, my beautiful Capricorn friends. Well, guys, you are having Pluto, the god of great wealth, ancient god of great wealth, traveling through your second house of values. Expect that over the next 20 years, you're going to have a massive change in your value system. You won't recognize yourself at the end of this transit. And what you value, what you treasure, what you align with is going to be completely different to who you are at this point in time when you're watching this. So you can also find that your resources might go through quite an upheaval at the beginning of this transit, but I want to reassure you they'll steady out as the transit progresses. So there can be a big shift, because when Pluto ingresses into a new sign, and as I said in the introduction, that's when things get hairy and volatile with finances. He brings change, but the rest, once he's moved into Aquarius, sort of, I'm thinking maybe 2025, 26, things will start to steady out with your resources, and it'll be more of a slow change into what he wants to do rather than that sudden shocks that happens while he's ingressing. So you might, because of this ingress, you might feel a compulsive need to develop more security and protection in your life. You might, it's worth, looking into creating some strong foundations. You're very good at that, Capricorn. You're a sign that's all about strong foundations anyway. So, creating some strong structures and foundations for your possessions, your resources, to feel safer in the world. You might also be very sensitive about your self-worth as well. Someone criticizes you and it really goes to your heart, really goes to your core. There's a sensitivity there. But also, you're going to realize that it's time that you start getting what you deserve in life. No more working for nicks. It's time to start, getting paid for those astrology readings you do for your friends. It's time for you to start getting recognition for those psychic forecasts that you keep giving. It's time for you to start getting what you deserve. Pluto will ensure that that happens. There's also an ego death and rebirth at this time in that sense as well. No more, self-sabotaging when it comes to receiving the remuneration you deserve. Now it's much more about getting your just desserts. Now, if you have a strong sense of self-worth as this transit begins at this point in time when this video goes to air, well, Pluto will direct his energy, instead of transforming your self-worth, Pluto will direct his energy to generating wealth for you. So if you think you're worthy of good things, if you think right now that you are worth getting well remunerated for your skills and talents and knowledge and all that sort of thing, Pluto is going to go, hey, no need to transform your self-worth. All right, they think they're worthy of prosperity. Here it is. I'm the god of great wealth. There you go. Have it on a platter. What you think is what you attract materially, very much so. What you think about yourself, rather, is what you attract while Pluto is in the second house, very much so. If you don't have a healthy personal sense of worth, you might find that everything is reduced to ashes and you must rebuild. Because Pluto is connected to that age-old image of the phoenix bird being destroyed into ashes and then rising up again into empowerment. So, really, if you haven't done the work on your personal self-worth and self-value and getting what you deserve, Pluto could give you a bit of a shaky time. So get into it now, Start demanding what you deserve. Start asserting yourself and saying, hey, I am worthy of this. And Pluto will start to give you great things. But if you don't think that, you might be in for a shaky time. Remember, it's your feelings about yourself that determine what you do or do not attract into your own life. Okay? This is an old Hermetic principle. Thoughts create reality. Now, spiritual people who are going through this transit, if you're a spiritually oriented person, spiritual people don't find that the generation of material goods is that much of a draw when Pluto goes through the second house. They're not like, yeah, big deal, who cares? I'm happy, I'm content in all circumstances. And what happens then, Pluto cultivates a powerful inner security for spiritual people at this time. They tend to feel inner empowerment, inner knowing that the universe has my back and they don't have to worry about, where the next meal's coming from and that kind of thing, because they've got this level of inner security and belief in the goodness of the divine. It's a loving and knowing of the self. You'll cultivate that during Pluto's transit. If you're a spiritual person, you're going to cultivate a loving and deep inner knowing of yourself. And obviously, as I've just described, this brings in the abundance anyway. So if you are a spiritual person and you're not, clinging to material stuff and obsessed with material stuff, then the good things are going to flow to you because you've got this inner loving of self, an inner sense of security in the love of the divine. Okay, other people, perhaps those who aren't quite so spiritually inclined, they might get very sensitive or emotional about resources, prosperity, and wealth now. Okay, so you might want to do some research, look around you and see who's a Capricorn rising sun or moon and how they're responding to this Pluto period. You might experience, in the negative shadow side, some power struggles over money and possessions with others. Be aware of that. Remember though, if you are ruthless, Pluto's the planet of karma. You will get your karmic just desserts with this transit. If you're stomping over everybody else so that you can get all of grandma's inheritance that she leaves you and nobody else in your family gets a dime, let me just tell you, you don't want to mess with Pluto's karma. You'll be in for it. So keep your karma clean when it comes to resources and money. Keep your integrity. Do not be ruthless. Now, if you've been somebody who up until this transit has been working very hard towards generating wealth, Pluto moving into the second house can manifest it for you now. It is possible now. Some people find that the God of great wealth is benevolent with them during this transit. If this happens, give thanks, because this will be frequently, it's a karmic life reward. Remember, Pluto is one of the most karmic of planets. And if you just find that suddenly blessing on the material level is just coming in left, right, and center, be grateful. Don't be all like, oh, well, yeah, of course, I'm so fantastic, an overblown ego. You don't want that, because that's equally as karmically bad. Be grateful to the universe. Be grateful to the God of great wealth, and realize if that's what's happening, you're receiving some sort of karmic reward for the good things you've done in a past life. Finally, Capricorn, Pluto moving through your second house means that there might be an increase in passion and love and intensity for art, for beauty, for pleasure, for comfort. And these things might become a driving force in your life. You might want to experience more delicious food and fine restaurants, go to more galleries, have more, instead of having threadbare sheets on the bed, you want sort of hotel grade sheets on the bed that are comfortable. There's a driving force for comfort, pleasure, beauty, art, and all those fine things of life. And you might even develop some interests in those areas yourself, interests that you never knew you had. They might start to bubble up in you during this transit as well. So my lovely friends, thank you for sticking with me through this very long video exploring Pluto and what it means for all signs over the coming 20 years. May this video be a blessing to you as you journey through the next 20 years. And I can't wait to continue traveling onwards with you on this YouTube channel while Pluto moves through Aquarius. Big love to you all.